I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews with Alexandre Raffin, co-founder and CEO of Gains. Alex, welcome to the show, and it is a pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks, Ashton. Happy to be here.
I'm really excited to dive into Gains. You've built quite a community. You're working on some events. You're helping fundraise. I would love for you to just kick it off to give a brief overview and the focus of the Gains platform, and then we can dive into the details from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gains is the world's first decentralized VC. So that means that we offer exclusive private deals to holders of our token. There are 4 tiers, and the more tokens you hold, the higher the tier, the bigger the allocations for more exclusive deals. So this is the very basic concept. In addition, we are also a crypto community. We talk about everything that's happening. For example, yesterday we talked about what happened with Vitalik dumping some Shiba and sending that to charity and whatnot. We mentioned partnerships of crypto projects, everything that happens, whether global or micro. And we also host events, so AMAs, quizzes. They're actually a cool way to learn about projects. I would encourage people to follow these actually, because sometimes there are very good nuggets of information, even though they're usually, you find many bounty hunters in these groups, but it's actually a good way to get a feel for the team. We also do YouTube interviews. It's a great way to get to meet people, as I'm sure you're aware. So this is what we do.
That's great. And yeah, I was reading into the platform, Decentralized VC. It looks really similar to, I've seen like Launchpads where you're helping projects raise capital. Is there a specific difference between what you consider to be a decentralized VC and a Launchpad or a token launching platform?
So there is a slight difference. Launchpads are mostly targeted at public sales, which these days are very small. They're not really aimed at raising money from the project side. It's just to create marketing, FOMO. It's designed in a way that very few people get in. And so to get some extra buying pressure on the exchange when it hits from all the people that couldn't get in. Private sales, on the other hand, you have a bit more time. Usually there's a bit less FOMO, so that's cool to get some research, even though these days it's still quite hard. And usually there's a vesting as well. So it's a slightly longer term horizon, even though in crypto that's still very short compared to the traditional world. Decentralized VCs, they're private sales, and Launchpad's public sales.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and that makes sense. And normally in venture capital, there's a lot of barriers to entry. You have to be an accredited investor. You have to know the group to get in investing in good projects early on. And it seems like the regular little people don't really get the opportunities. Is really the only requirement just to be in the Gains community and holding Gains tokens to get access? Are there any other requirements for those that are investing?
So that's a very good question. I would love to tell you that we remove all barriers of entry. That's not true. It is still very accessible. So you do have to purchase Gains, and compared to being an accredited investor, usually you need to have $1 million worth of assets or something like that. Purchasing Gains is a much smaller investment, like an entry ticket. And also, if you've been very active throughout all these 3 years, you will have access to our private sale in which some people that brought a lot of value got their token and they're still holding. And so we also highly value, even though now for holders, social engagement, because one of the ways decentralized VCs work compared to a traditional VC that is mainly going to bring the name, the social proof that comes with it, and maybe some high level intros. The decentralized VC, you're bringing the power of the people. So the social engagement, the real organic people who will come in, be active, a part of the community. And that's something that every project needs, absolutely. So I would say this is our value, and this is how people can participate, how they can get in. The lowest entry ticket is actually just a few $1,000s at the current price, and you get access to deals every week. So of course, you need some kind of time before these deals get listed, since you do invest in private sales. But if you invest regularly through us, then you will have like tokens that will be delivered to you quite regularly. And that could be something quite good.
That's really interesting, Alex. And I know you've already helped a lot of projects raise millions of dollars. Maybe you can talk about a few of the interesting platforms that have gone on to gains to now then become listed afterwards.
Yeah, so we worked with more than 50 projects, and we've been very fortunate because many of them in the past 8 months or so, all in the bull run since summer of last year, and they did very well. So we also did deals back in 2018 when we started out, and one of the best deals we did at the time was Quant Network, which is now near the top 100 and doing very well, connecting all the blockchains in the world. And more recently, we did Reef Finance, for example. Avalanche was one of the best ones. And many others like Labs Group, Cellframe, Mantra, and about 30 other projects. So, insurance projects like Bridge Mutual, for example. We invested also in GlobeDX. So GlobeDX is actually, just to give you an idea how real this can be, there's Y Combinator and Draper and Pantera that are invested. And members of our group had the opportunity to invest in a project with such heavy names, which I think is something to be mentioned.
Definitely, and that's a great opportunity for regular retail investors that are just holding gains to get involved with some of these major capital groups. And I'm curious, you've done a lot of great projects, which is great. Avalanche, Reef, Quant, all amazing projects. Are there specific requirements that you and your team at Gains look for to ensure that you have quality projects listed on Gains and you're not just listing any old projects? What are those kind of requirements that you look for?
Yeah, there's the obvious that everyone does, look at the token metrics, take a look at the website, if it looks good. But I would say the main thing that makes us go or not on a project is just the vibe and the gut feeling we have. It might be a bit intangible and like something, not like a strong criteria that you can say, okay, if X, then Y. But having talked with experience to like hundreds of CEOs, and I think our track record speaks for itself that we've done pretty well. I would say just, how we feel people, if they're bullshitting or not, that's the main thing.
And how are you trying to make sure that there's not too many deals, or it's just as much quality deals as you can get through? How often how much is the deal flow, per month or per quarter?
Yeah, it depends on the market. These days, we have about 2 deals per week, which is quite a lot. In a bear market, there's less deals. For me, I actually love bear markets. This is a time where people like us have much more power. We can take our time to do research. The power switches back to the investors because projects are actually raising money and not, all the investors are fighting for projects. So it depends on the market. We have connections to get lots of deals, but we still, compared to other groups, I would say, have tried to be on the lower side of quantity and aim for high quality. So, and that shows, I think, with our track record, even though the market helps, I think we had like 2 deals that, are break even or something, and that's the bad deals.
Wow. Well, that's a pretty good track record. And definitely with the bull market, investors are just willing to, barely even do due diligence. They just are excited to throw their capital at whatever and hope it sticks. So it's an interesting time when that happens. But I know that your team has been working on the platform for a lot of years, and it hasn't always been in the bull market, right?
Yeah, let me give you like a quick anecdote for people. I'm actually quite scared. Because we're in touch with many what would be considered tier 1 VCs. And in order not to miss out, everyone has no time and they're not doing that much research. And something that shocked me recently was someone that I will not mention. They had an intro, so it was still through a known person. But the first thing they said, arriving in a group with the CEO, the founder, they didn't really know what the project was about. They were just introed. And the guy said, "Hi, where do I send my money?" So, it was kind of fun, but still, this is a reflection of what goes on. And I'm pretty sure I could make a tier one VC invest in a blatant scam. So I would say actually it's kind of silly the power and the how highly regarded all these names are, because the reality of things is much more hectic than people think. So sorry, the question was about the platform, I think, that we're building.
Well, yeah, I was, I was just giving a relative view on, the bull market where it's at now, but I know that your team has been doing deals since 2018, and there was quite a bear market, and I would love for you to just give a little glimpse into the journey of, building up gains during the bear market when everyone has their heads down, grinding away, and now coming into 2021 and the shift that you've seen happen in the market.
Yeah, I would say the investors, there's no secret. The toughest investors are the ones that will be rewarded the most. All the people that stayed throughout the bear market, that kept on learning, that kept on investing during the bear market, the best investments are made in the bear market. Avalanche was a deal offered in the bear market. And they were actually, at the time, we had a group of, I think, 200 people or so. And only 5 people went in on the deal. And these guys made more than 100x. So that goes to show that there's still a lot of education to do with retailers, because in one way it's understandable. You have less capital, so you have to be careful, and you follow other people's emotions. When everyone around you is bearish, then you're scared. I shouldn't invest in a bear market. But actually, it's the total opposite. If you're very careful in a bear market, it is the best time to place your chips. So it's been quite hard to keep on functioning in a bear market, knowing that we're dealing with retailers that are thinking that way. And ourselves, we're still thinking a bit that way. So we all have to try to do better. And in the bear market, what we did, because there weren't many deals, we just focused on learning. So we did lots of events. I personally hosted like 100 AMAs and more on Telegram. So I met lots of founders. I learned a lot about projects. And so this is what we did, kept on talking about what was happening in the markets. And then the bull market came and the deals just resumed because we stayed here.
That's great. And you definitely get great insights into all these projects when you're doing interviews, AMAs, you have the YouTube channel, community events. And I think, when you have that deal flow and then you get to actually speak to the founders and see how they present themselves to the public and how they are marketing the company, that just helps you understand a little bit deeper rather than just seeing the website and their tokenomics. Because I feel that an idea is great, but the execution by the team is obviously going to need to be super important if you're going to build a long-term project, right?
Yeah. Crypto is amazing, but crypto is also very bad in many ways. Lots of projects are raising insane amounts of money with just an idea, with a team that most likely won't pull it off. And we will see a correction. Like right now, it's too crazy. There's like 30 launchpads, everyone just riding trends. The meme coins, the community is great. There's lots of things that don't make sense. Crypto is very irrational, and it's just everything is exacerbated. So you can make lots of money following the trends, but also be careful. And in the long run, nothing beats substance and a good product.
Definitely. And it is a crazy time right now. And I know your team is working hard to find more deal flow. Is there any other major milestones that you and your team at Gains are working towards, throughout the summer of 2021 and in the coming months?
So we should have, in a month or maybe 2 max, a platform in which everyone who's holding Gains will be able to see the deals they invested in, a calendar with the releases, something that's, very basic, but very totally expected for everyone. So that should be great. The deal flow will also happen on our website. Right now we're still using Google Forms. So just to give you an idea, and this is actually the industry standard in other groups similar to us. So projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you invest through them using Google Forms and all that. So there's lots of things to build in crypto still. So you're still early, that is true. So this will come a very neat investment platform. And then we have a few incubations. We actually announced our first a few days ago. It's a project about chess and NFTs, building an ecosystem. We're very excited for it. It's called Immortal Game. And this is kind of a collaboration. We will have an in-house incubation for a project we've been working on for about 6 months. So this is also something that we will reveal probably next month.
Very, very cool, Alex. And for people that aren't already investing through Gain's platform, or they're just looking to find out more about the community, learn how to get involved with the events and the AMAs, what's the best way for them to get involved?
Join our Telegram, follow us on Twitter. If you buy Gains on Uniswap, you can talk to our bot, which is at @gainz_bot. You will find the links on Telegram, and you will sign a message to prove that you're the owner of this address, and you will get an invite link to the private group. And in there, you will get access to deals. If you have any issue, drop a message in the Telegram group, in the public group, and someone will help you out. Always happy to see new faces. To be honest, it's been when we started out. We started out this group for 2 reasons actually. So the first one, quickly, is we also invested back in the day in other people's pools, and it was even crazier. There were like hundreds of pools, and some admins were anonymous, and people were trusting them. I don't know how, why, with their money. And the reality is that many of these guys exit scams. So we didn't feel comfortable investing in other people's groups when considering how they were managed. So this is why we created it. And the second reason, which maybe is actually more important, is because the community is just amazing. We cannot find all these deals. We have a team, of course, of researchers, of biz devs, of analysts, but we cannot see everything that's happening on the market. And one of the powers of decentralized VC, of having hundreds of people, is they will tell you, hey, take a look at this. Hey, I've seen that. And that's amazing. And when you have so many people, it's good to be with people you enjoy in this journey. And that's also what a community brings. And that's something fundamental for humans, even right now. And I think that's great that crypto brings, some fun, even though we're here to make money. But if it's fun, it's the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well said, Alex. And I agree. We do have a really great community, and it's still so early on. There's still so much growth to happen, and you're definitely early on this platform, and I'm glad you've legitimized the Launchpad and the decentralized VC, because it definitely was the Wild West, and there's still a long way to go. But thank you for all those details. I will leave those community links in the description box below as well for the viewers. All the best with Gains moving forward, and let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you, Ashton. Thanks a lot.